day viewers, Namaste, Namaskar and Vanakkam. This is a video series aimed at Indian migrants, and through this video series we are aiming to achieve two things. One is make you learn, meaning learning new facts, new information about sexuality, and also make you unlearn some long held opinions and thoughts about sexuality. So bringing learning and unlearning together, we aim to improve your sexual health literacy. Alright, the first series is about basics of sex, otherwise the ABC of sex. Sex is a magical word, and the reason why they say sex sells is for a reason, because it creates different thoughts and feelings for different people at different stage in their life. So from a layperson perspective, sex is about the act of sex. From a technical point, it's the biological chromosomal sex, the male, female and everything in between. But from a clinical point of view, the community often has a preconceived notion that sex is intercourse, and that is not necessarily the right way of looking at it, because if there is no intercourse, then they think there is no sex, and therefore there is a problem. So my view on to the viewers is sex is not equal to intercourse. Intercourse is part of sex, but sex is much more than intercourse. What is sexuality? That's a big question, and it's a very important one as well. Now, sexuality involves quite a number of things. It involves the way we were born, the way we grew up, the way we feel about ourselves, the way we feel attracted towards others, and the bonding, the intimacy we have with our partners, the self-love, pleasure, and also reproduction. Now, reproduction is one aspect of sexuality that is well acknowledged and addressed in most cultures and faith. Not all as other aspects of sexuality have the same level of acknowledgement, but my emphasis to the community is reproduction is one of many aspects of sexuality, and sexuality involves a lot of different things. Sexual rights of an individual, it's not something I came up with, it's the World Health Organization has come up with sexual rights, which are part of human rights. Now there are technically 10 different sexual rights that have been sort of written. Now I'm going to have 4 different themes within which we can discuss the different sexual rights. The first and foremost is care. Every individual has got the right to have the best possible sexual health, and that includes accessing the care services. The second one is the knowledge and literacy, which is what we are doing through this video series, is the sexuality education and the ability to access to right information about sexuality. The third one is about partnership and love and pleasure and bonding. So all of that is also an integral part of sexual right, meaning whom do you want to partner with, whom do you want to have a relationship with, whom do you want to marry, and also about do you want to have a child or not, and if you want to have a child, when do you want to have it. So all of this is part of sexual rights. The last theme is about the body and pleasure, and this is something not very well addressed in common terms. Now body involves the body integrity, and sexual pleasure is now finally got the utmost limelight on the topic of sexual pleasure, because pleasure is something we all experience, or at least most of us want to experience, but it's something that we don't know where to go get help for or how to talk about that. So these are all the different sexual rights. What is sexual health? It's a very important question. I think it's not just a question, it's a very important aspect of this whole video series. Now sexual health involves, it's not just about not having a disease or a dysfunction or a disorder, it's about having that well-being and sense of satisfaction. So sexual health involves quite a lot. So it involves free of infections, free of disorders or difficulties, and being able to live the fullest potency of our sexuality, and free from coercion and the ability to make choices of our own, and not being judged and not being coerced by others when it comes to sexuality and in literal terms in our sex life. So we want to have a fulfilling sex life. Now, within that sexual health, one aspect is the safe sex, because making sure that we don't have infection or we don't pass on infection. So there's a lot of talk about safe sex, but I tend to use the term responsible sex, because when you say safe, it somehow feels either you have a lot of bugs in you or the person whom you're having sex has got a lot of infection. So it sounds like it's a nasty thing, whereas responsible sex involves safe sex, that is making sure you have condom or not engaging in risky behavior, but also treating the sexual partner with respect and care. Sexual dysfunction is a technical term and it's mentioned everywhere, but personally and professionally, I don't like the word dysfunction, because not everybody has got a dysfunction. Okay, so some people might have function well and other persons may have a problem. So I would like to use the term variations in sexual functioning rather saying dysfunction. So what is sexual function? In other words, is the way we respond to a sexual stimuli, or how our body and mind responds and reacts in a sexual situation. And that can involve your erection in men and ejaculation in men, and how the orgasm and how a person feels about sex is part of sexual functioning. And when there is some issues with that functioning, that's when we tend to call it as dysfunction. But it's not always function versus dysfunction. There is a lot in between the two. Is it okay to talk about sex and seek help? Of course, yes. Like all other functions of the body, sex is also a basic function of the body, and it's definitely okay to talk about it and to seek help from professionals. Like you can talk to your GP, you can talk to your psychologist, you can talk to your a nurse, depending on the context and depending on the issue, you then choose where you want to seek help. Now, seeking help from internet is great, but you need to always look for credible sources. Just don't blindly look into the first website that comes on search and think that is the right one. Do your bit of a research, look for the credibility, whether there's an organization name, whether there's a contact detail on it. But I think in Australia, the best thing is to do is to go ask your GP, and GPs are willing to help you.